Hey guys, welcome back to another video, welcome back to another tutorial. I really hope that you guys are excited for this content because I feel like it's been a minute since I was doing consistently like tutorials on my channel, but I feel like I'm getting back to it. And you guys, I absolutely love the look I'm gonna share with you guys today. I wore it out with some friends and I got so many compliments on this look. Like I literally had so many people stopping me about the eye makeup. So I really hope that you guys are excited for it. You can do this look with basically any palette, whatever you already have in your collection. The only thing I think that you might need that you might not already have is a white eyeliner, but I'd tell you guys like the very best one, my very best recommendations. So, okay, so starting off with a fresh face, the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with my e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. I'm using this one mostly because I want to finish up this bottle. As you can see, I still have some product left in here. I don't want to waste it. But this was limited edition. You can still get this. I think they brought it back. They've brought it back multiple times. But basically a spot on like, I guess not dupe because I feel like dupe goes from like high end to like drugstore kind of products to like different price points. But the e.l.f., it's also by e.l.f. This is the Power Grip Primer. This is a permanent product in their line and it's very similar and a little bit more sticky. And yeah, they both kind of do the same thing in the sense that they prolong your makeup and really help your makeup adhere to the skin. So I'm gonna go in with a couple pumps of this. That is kind of the jelly-like texture. Milk Makeup actually kind of started this trend with their Milk Hydro Grip Primer. So I'm just going to apply this to the skin. This is really great to apply in areas where your makeup might separate. This is not one of those primers that feels good going on the skin, but it is one of the primers that I find that like throughout all my trial and error with primers, it's one of the primers that I really feel like leaves the skin sticky. Even when I have it on my hands, I can feel the tackiness of the residue that it leaves. And with primers like this, you're going to want to let them sit on your skin for about 30 to 40 seconds, let it get really tacky, dry down a little bit, and then go in with foundation. So I'm going to wait a little bit and then we're going to jump in with foundation. And now I'm gonna go with one of my favorite sponge. This is the e.l.f. Total Complexion Sponge. I believe it's what it's called. It's one of my favorite drugstore sponges. Like you can run to Walmart and pick this up. I really love it for that. There's others that I really like, but honestly, I mean, of course there's like the original Beauty Blender, but I just don't even recommend spending like max like $5 on a sponge really. But speaking of Walmart, this is my favorite foundation currently. This is the Imma by Sharon C. This is the Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation. And I have the shade Honey Honey T1. This is what the packaging looks like. It's a glass bottle with like that soft matte touch. They have so many shades, you guys. And it's pretty affordable. I believe it's in the $15 range. So it's a little bit more pricey than I feel like normal drugstore foundations. It's worth it because it like really the formula and everything is very, very high end comparable and I just really love it. So gonna apply this all over my face by just patting my sponge in. You could use a brush if you like to use a brush as well. I am just really a sponge girl for some reason. I find that this always consistently gives me the best coverage and the best like seamless finish on the skin. And by the way, my sponge is damp, but yeah, I'm just gonna be patting this into the skin. Okay, so this is what the shade is looking like. As you can see, the shade is a little bit too dark and a little bit too yellow for me. It looks a lot better in person than on camera. But now I'm gonna go in with a foundation brush, and this is a smaller foundation brush. It's not as large as I feel like this one is. Like it's not as like, it's just a little bit more narrow. But this is the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. This is the matte bronzer in the shade Baked. And this is my favorite cream bronzer formula. And I'm gonna pat this in and also kind of swipe upwards a little bit with this. If you guys watch my videos, you know how much I love this product. I have really become like ride or die for this. I give you so much product in here. I'm like really heavy handed with it. And yet I still don't know how I have so much product left. Like I feel like I've had this for a minute and it's just still like thriving. And I love that it's like a push-up stick, so like you can push more product up or actually like push it back down. Like not every product is like that where you like take product out and you can actually like scroll it back in. I'm just kind of patting and then also kind of like swiping this along the face as well. Now I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite concealers, also from e.l.f. I love e.l.f. complexion products, you guys, and they ship internationally. They do sales. They come up with really fun collections. They're probably one of my favorite, like I think if I had to pick a favorite brand in general, even considering like high-end makeup, it's always gonna be e.l.f. Like I'm ride or die for them, honestly. I'm gonna go with their e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. You can see how much of this I've used up, and I'm continuing to like another product I'm like kind of trying to finish from them. I will repurchase it, but I also like have other concealers I need to get through too. Yeah, I'm so obsessed with this concealer. So I'm gonna use this to lighten up the face and just kind of like highlight the center points. I'm gonna apply just like a little bit on my nose as well. It looks like I've applied a lot of concealer, but if you look closely, because I don't have much product on the like applicator, not a lot of product is actually coming out, so that's why it still looks like a lot. And then I'm going to go in with an oldie but goodie. This is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder, and I'm going to go with a little powder puff. I actually got this on Amazon, and I'm going to powder the face with this and kind of set everything. And but first I'm going to quickly blend this out. So I want to clarify, I'm not really baking. I pick up the powder, and then I've been doing it in the cap. You can also do this on the back of your hand. I'm like shaking off the excess powder, and then I'm pressing it into the skin. Mind you, there's a lot of excess powder here, so it is still a lot. I think sometimes it's better to take it on the back of my hand where there's not as much powder and press it in. I like Coty Airspun because it's just a really accessible product, and I like it for that. So now I'm gonna take the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation in the shade Light 240W, and I'm gonna pick it on a little brush, on like a powder brush, and I'm gonna dust this away because, like I said, we're not baking. Like, I'm basically setting my face and then dusting the powder away. Also, recently somebody said, and I've kind of like noticed it, I was going ham on like the blush, the cheek products, so I'm gonna try to go a little bit lighter on those. I just wanted to like clarify that, and I appreciate it. I love when people are like real with me and tell me what looks good and what looks bad. No one in my real life has said it, and I think it's always because on camera the blush and bronzer looks more intense, but then in person it doesn't look as intense. And also normally I do my makeup like that when I'm like going out and like it's nighttime, and like at night it actually looks really good, and on camera it looks good once you're like wearing it for a little bit. So maybe that's it too, that like no one in real life has noticed it, but people on camera have noticed that like my cheeks look a little bit much. So I'm gonna try to take that advice, keep it in mind, and be a little bit less heavy-handed today. Now I've got like all that powder off my face. You can still see a little bit of definition from the cream bronzer, but it's not as much because that is not a super intense product. So I am gonna go in with a powder bronzer. So like I said, I'm going in with a bronzer. I'm going to go with a softer bronzer than normal. So I'm going to go with the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is their original bronzer shade. And this is not a super warm bronzer on me. So it's a little bit more like neutral. And I think that that will also help kind of the softer cheek effect. I also don't contour, so I've only ever like really just kind of contoured with bronzer, and I think that's why like the blush and bronzer looks so intense, because I don't really ever contour. I just use this. Well, not this product specifically, but yeah. I would also love to hear from you guys in the comments like what your opinion is on it. I know normally like you're not supposed to comment on people's appearances if it's negative, but I would like to know what you prefer. Just as somebody who's looking at me, I would love to know what you guys think. I'm also gonna take this a little bit on the neck and chin area. Sorry, my phone is vibrating. I'm gonna put that on silent. And then I'm going to take the same product and I'm going to bronze / contour my nose and like cheek area, my nose and lip area. And so you can see I'm kind of just running it under the lips. This really does help to give a fuller kind of effect to the lips, especially when I want my lips to look really pouty. The majority of the product I'm running it down the center though, and kind of like cupping the chin a little bit, because it doesn't look like much now. Actually, you can kind of see it there. This is fake. That little shadow you see is what I just did, and it just makes the lips look a little bit more pouty. And I'm also using this to bronze the nose and make everything look more uniform. It does snatch the nose a little bit and make it look contoured, but it's not as intense as if I were to go in with a regular contour. And you can kind of see the difference here, like, and I haven't even fully blended that out, but like this side looks a little bit more put together, and like here my nose just kind of fades into like this area of my skin. Now I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl Island Hottie blush palette. This is one of my favorite blush palettes, and honestly I have a lot of like blush and bronzers in my collection, and so the way that this is stacked, I like hardly ever see it. But it is a favorite, and it has a really nice array of blushes. Also has a really nice mirror. But I feel like this is really great for literally all year round, and I think if I had to just keep like one blush palette in my collection, it'd probably be this one, because it's so versatile and I can like really like build these up or keep them kind of like a little bit more toned down. So I'm going to start with this one on the end. This is matte, by the way. They do have like different finishes here on these. So I'm going to use this one to kind of just like blend my bronzer into blush, and I'm using a duo fiber brush. Also, this is a very affordable blush palette. I'm also taking a little bit of this shade on the nose, blending everything together, kind of just trying to make it look a little bit more seamless. So normally I do this with a little bit more of an intense blush, and I think that's the problem, is like not only do I do this with like a regular, like, and this looks soft and it looks pretty and blushed, but I do like a little bit more. So like I'm gonna go with a little bit more, but only a little bit. I think I'm gonna take this shade right here, and this brush brush I use for blush, but it picks up a lot more product. So I'm tapping off the excess, being a little bit lighter handed with it. I think my problem when it comes to this, and like the reason that this issue has developed for me, is because not only do I love blush now, but I also have blush palettes in my collection that are very pigmented. Plus I'm really heavy handed. So it makes it hard for me to be like more light-handed than normal. So okay, I think that looks good. I think this is like a good in between. I feel like I could use a little bit more bronzer, but I'm honestly just gonna let it sit here, see how I feel about it. So now I'm gonna set my face. Basically, I'm only setting my face to get rid of this like powdery effect that is left on the skin, and then I'm gonna go in with some highlighter. So I went out the other day with some friends, and I'm pretty sure this is the highlighter that I used for that. So this is the Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold, and I'm just gonna take a little bit because I haven't been super into like an intense highlight. Funny, I literally jumped from being like bam with the highlighter to being bam on like blush and bronzer, and like bam I mean like a lot of it intense. I love doing this. This doesn't suit everybody's eye shape. I know there are people who don't love this look, but I really like it. I really do feel like it just kind of draws the attention to the inner part of the eye. So then I'm gonna do my brows off camera and kind of prime my eyelids with some concealer, and we will be back so that I can go ahead and apply the eye makeup together. Okay, so starting out with the eyeshadow, you can see what I've already done here. I do have my brows done, and I basically just took the same concealer I had on my face and I popped it on the eyes and I carved out the bottom of my brow. And now I'm taking a bronzer. This is actually by Morphe, but really just any bronzer that is kind of a caramel tone. I like to use bronzer always in the crease before I use a eyeshadow, unless it's like pink or a different, you know, a different color, like eyeshadow look that I'm going for. And the reason that I do this is because bronzer, when you apply it, it blends in and kind of matches the bronzer on your face. So it becomes really the perfect transition shade. And with the look I'm going for, it's gonna be a cut crease. So I want this to go from like outer to inner right here, because it's gonna like start in the middle. And I also I had contoured my nose going here. So this kind of connects that little bridge, if you can kind of see like how it connects here. I normally don't do that, but the look that I'm doing is kind of dramatic. And then I'm going to jump into a really old palette. I tried to not use this palette too much, but I actually really like some of the colors in here. So this is the Morphe X James Charles palette. They've come out with lots of dupes for this, but basically I'm going to take this shade right here. I believe it's called 10% off, and I'm going to dip the same brush into that and run the same color in that area of my eye, just a little bit lower down. I could grab a smaller brush to do this, and I probably will here in a minute just to intensify it, but I want to make sure to use the same brush first to just make sure everything looks really nice and blended. I'm just basically running the same brush back and forth along the eye. Now I'm going with a slightly smaller brush and just really kind of like pushing it into the crease here above my eye, my faux crease, because I'm creating a fake crease, okay? I'm gonna cut my crease above my crease. Really, it's gonna be cut right around here. And my crease really is here. Like, look how much eyelid space I'm faking, okay? My natural crease stops right here. I'm gonna be faking a crease up here. You can make your eyes look bigger with makeup, I swear. And like completely, people always tell me like my eyes are big and like I have so much eyelid space. I don't have that much eyelid space. I have, my eyebrows really should come down to like a here. It's angles, it's practice, it's plucking my eyebrows, it's a lot. But anyway, going in now with this brush, it is flat on this side a little bit and then it gets wider, okay? I'm gonna take the next shade over. It's called No Beans, and it is very much a bean shade. I'm gonna take this shade on this brush, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna start packing this on the outer corner. And I'm gonna start working this up and into the crease. I think I told you guys already this, but I wore this look to go out the other night with my friends, and I got so many compliments and just a lot of people really like loving on this look. So I thought I absolutely have to share it with you guys. And then I'm flipping the brush on its side and also creating a little bit more of that dimension. You see the difference? Like even here you can see the difference a little bit. Now I'm going to go with my previous brush that had that other orangey shade from the same palette, which is the shade 10% off, and I'm diffusing the outer corner and up here. Okay, you guys, I went ahead and did one eye. I still need to put lashes on and everything, but I figured at least this way you guys can see what we're gonna do kind of as I'm doing each step. So now I'm gonna take this shade 10% Off, which is the shade we've been using, this one right here. And really we're just using 2 shades in this palette, except for these that I'm about to use over here. But I actually just realized that when I was doing this look, when I went out, this is not the palette that I used, and I honestly can't remember what palette I used exactly. I probably like jumped around. I remember grabbing this shade, no, or 10% off. I remember grabbing this shade specifically when I was doing this look to go out with my friends. But now that I'm thinking back on it, I was like, wait, I didn't use this shade and I didn't use this shade. And it's because I used more than one palette. So you can definitely create the same look with anything else you have in your collection. Don't feel like you have to get this palette at all. The one thing is just make sure that you do have like a really nice white, like icy gold kind of shade. I normally, when I've done this look, this is the second time I'm doing it, I've mixed shades for that shade both times specifically. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I have concealer on the back of my hand and basically just a paddle brush. You guys can see it gets really thin. I actually probably need a little bit more concealer. Using the same one again. And I make sure that I do it on the back of my hand so that I can make sure the brush is really, really flat. And then I'm just gonna carve out the crease. Now, I could say a lot about this step, but the most important thing I want to tell you guys is if you have not done this over and over and over again, do not expect it to be super easy. Practice makes near perfection, and I've done this so many times that I could probably do it with my eyes closed. And like, look how easily I was able to kind of match up the eyes, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my best advice when it comes to that. Furthermore, if you take a little bit of this when you're first starting and line the base of your eye right here and then look up, you want to make sure that no matter what you do, this will create like a line right here. So for example, my eyelid touches about right here, and I still went higher than that because I knew that I wanted it to be higher. However, for my eyelid space not to crease, I have to make sure that the space of the eyeshadow, or in this case the concealer that I'm cutting the crease with, is high enough, because if not, when I blink it will transfer. I'm gonna put on my lashes really quick, and then I'm gonna jump into the shade I'm gonna use. And I bet you guys are gonna just love the mixture of these 2 shades together. So now I'm gonna take 2 shades, mix them together. One is kind of an icy white. It's the shade Ring Light, which is up here, and it is a shimmer. And then this one right here, which is called Face. And this is also a really great highlighter shade. I might actually pop it on the highlighter to make it a little more intense. But I'm gonna just literally take both of these shades. They're both very, like a super nice formula. And I'm gonna dampen my brush a little bit. I'm just like spraying it. Just kind of once or twice, and it just helps the shade kind of like mix together a little better, and apply a little bit more intense. I'm also using another kind of flat brush for this step. And then what I do for the inner corner is I take only the shade Ring Light, which is the really, really like white icy shade, and I take only that one for the inner corner. And just making sure to turn the brush like this so that the edge of the brush hits the little area I'm highlighting. And then when I'm filling it in, I turn it on its side. And then with no extra product, I'm going to take one of the brushes I used and use that to diffuse this area. You don't really even need like another transition shade or another like shimmer shade. You literally just need the brush you were using and then kind of run it. And now I'm going to use a white eyeliner for this. So this is actually a Hydra gel liner. This is by the brand SUVA Beauty. This is in the shade Space Panda. It is a matte eyeliner, and you can actually get this on Morphe.com. I actually got it in Morphe in store, and then I'm going to use a very, very thin little brush to create this line. I think I did forget to mention these are water activated, so I just take a little bit of setting spray, spray it in the cap, and then swirl my brush in to kind of get it nice and pigmented. I'm not going to cut out the fact that I just messed up. But with this product, you want to like erase it pretty much as soon as it is still wet, because once it dries, it dries. You can layer this, so I don't know if you guys can see, but this eye is a little bit patchy. So now that it's dry, I'm going to go in and layer. You can also add glitter or something to the shade, like the base of the lid. You can definitely do that. because it's white eyeliner and it's kind of a graphic eyeliner, I'm telling you, it's very hard to make them perfectly even, but like the shape is even, but like there's little like things and discrepancies that I can notice. I'm telling you, nobody else will notice. Nobody will notice. Now I'm going to go in with the Essence Super Precise Eyeliner. This is long lasting and waterproof and matte, and it is $3 at Ulta. And you guys, when I tell you, this is probably the best eyeliner I think I've ever used. It is such an amazing formula. Now I'm going to use the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. And I'm going to apply this on the lower lash line because I don't want to apply it on the top lashes first and then like look up for this and it transfer. That's such a good tip. I used to always get mascara on the top of my eye until somebody told me to always do my lower lash mascara first. So do it, I promise it makes a difference. And now my lashes should be dry. I did already apply lash glue. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on. And now I'm gonna take a little bit of a creamy white eyeliner. This is the NYX Wonder Brow Pencil, and it's just such a creamy like shade, and I'm gonna apply this on the waterline. I just think it really makes the eyes pop a little bit more. I do always get a little bit of it on my lashes, so I go back in with my mascara just to touch it up a little bit. So that is the eyes completed. Yeah, it's kind of an intense look, but I really like the way it looks. And I think it's like one of my new favorite like go-to looks. So now I'm gonna go in with lip liner and lipstick. This is I totally forgot the word for lipstick. But this is the Jaclyn Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade I'm a Cancer. This is my new favorite like lip combo ever. I know I'm gonna repurchase that. And the NYX lip pencil in the shade Nude Truffle. This is my favorite lip combo of the moment. Now I will say the key is to blend this with your finger. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look. I feel like the white eyeliner at the top kind of gives it a little bit of a retro vibe, but I really like it. And yeah, I got a lot of compliments on this look, so I wanted to make sure to share it in case any of you guys wanted to recreate it. I also love that white liner. It's a game changer. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!